Hello. Today I'm talking about the DCEU and what went wrong. This is a very deep topic to me because I loved the DCEU. I loved it. I think the DCEU was going to be very good and got absolutely ruined. And I think I liked the direction it was going in, but I'm here to talk about what really went wrong and what really frustrates me. So the DCEU starts with Man of Steel. Amazing movie. I love Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is good. It's a good Superman movie. It takes a more realistic approach on the character and goes a little more dark tone, which I'm fine with. I think they did it well, and it was good. And then from there, we go to Batman vs. Superman. Not great. Batman vs. Superman definitely lacked in some areas. Right, I'm not going to deny that Batman vs. Superman was not a great film. The Ultimate Edition is much better, though. And it's not good, but it's not bad. And it had direction. I think that's the big thing here. These movies had direction. You could tell Batman vs. Superman was leading to something. And, then we get to the next Zack Snyder film. I'm focusing on Zack Snyder here. We get to Justice League, right? The thing that a lot of these movies have been building up to, you had Wonder Woman, and these movies have been building to this point. And I feel like Justice League actually, the Zack Snyder cut was good. Like, I enjoy it. I enjoy watching. I think Ben Affleck's good as Batman. Henry Cavill's a good Superman, no matter what people say. He really does pull off the role well, especially that darker tone you're going for. But here's where the big problem comes in. He left midway through. His daughter died. R.I.P. That's sad. It really is. But then they tried to bring in an old Marvel director and tried to make it, like, jokey, and just ruined it. And then they didn't ever really bring Snyder back, so they just kind of ruined the tone of these movies, and there's no direction. If you see Zack Snyder's original plan, I could probably put it right there. There was a whole plan that was going on for these movies. There was a big direction. And while it probably wasn't as good as Marvel, it still had a purpose, and there was a lot to look forward to. And it was solid. It was okay. Zack Snyder's Justice League is genuinely a good movie. And, I would have loved to see where they would have built from that. But they didn't. And then they started releasing a bunch of one-off films, and it just went really downhill really fast. Now, there are a few ones that I think are good, like Shazam's good. I'm in the minority. I actually think Black Adam's a pretty solid movie. I know. It's not great. But the real focus of today is Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. Man of Steel. It was good. It wasn't amazing, but it was good. It had a good start to a universe of your main character, Superman. And, he wasn't as hopeful and golly as he is in, like, this new Superman. But he had, like, a really realistic approach, and I didn't mind it. A lot of people hated it. I didn't mind it. And I'm a big comic book guy. I didn't mind it at all. And then you look at Batman vs. Superman, right? I love Ben Affleck's Batman. Loved it. I think he did a fantastic job as Batman. Now, that movie had a lot of struggles, but the Ultimate Edition saved most of them. What I didn't like is that Batman and Superman only fought for like 2 minutes. That's it. It just wasn't a big fight. There wasn't really a reason for them to be fighting. I've rewatched it a couple times. I don't know. Wasn't much Superman. I don't like the scene where, like, I don't like how I know you're taking the monotone underground take on Superman. I don't like how much he doesn't care about if people die. Because that's whole Superman's whole thing, is he doesn't want people to die. It's the whole reason he does what he does. And that scene where the, like, entire courthouse just blows up and he just sits there and he's like, that's just not how Superman would react. But other than that scene, and I didn't like the villain at the end. I didn't like Superman dying. I don't know. But, following up to Zack Snyder's cut, I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of cool because then they had to fight Superman. And I was really excited to see where that would go from there. And then you look at it with their Warner Bros. Decision, right? They would have made more money if they just stuck with Zack Snyder. But their decision to switch from Zack Snyder cost them so much. They lost Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill didn't want to be in movies anymore. Ben Affleck didn't want to be in movies anymore. The guy who played Cyborg didn't want to be in movies anymore. They lost. Cyborg's not a very big character, so you can lose him. But you had lost your two main characters. Your two biggest characters you lost, right? And then they started producing films like Aquaman. And Aquaman was Isn't like it's like their highest grossing film ever. It's really weird. But they started producing random films, and some of them were okay. Most of them were pretty bad. But they just had no direction. I didn't feel like there was a point to a lot of these films. Like, what was the point of, Shazam, if you were never going to use him again, other than Shazam 2? But it wasn't leading to anything. There wasn't a big movie. That's why Marvel works so well. Is all these movies, like I can get through Captain Marvel because I know it's leading to Endgame. And you know that all these movies are going to lead together. That's what makes them so good, is they all lead together. They all are leading to something. The DC just didn't. But before Batman vs Superman, Justice League, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, they were leading to a Justice League film, and I felt like it was okay. People were like, those movies aren't the greatest, but they have a direction, they have a story. And then the fact that Warner Brothers just tried to rush it, make a bunch of money right now, is sad. It's sad. And the Snyder Cut of Justice League is a good movie. It really is. I love that movie. Watching Batman recruit everyone, even Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, the full version that Snyder wanted. Because in case you were unaware, Snyder had made these movies long, and Warner Bros. Told him he had to cut them down so they could get more screenings at a theater. And that's part of what led to the downfall of DC, was Warner Bros. Greediness. And that ruined Batman vs Superman. That extra 30 minutes really is crucial to the story. And it's a solid movie with it. It's still not like, Avengers levels good, but it's solid. I mean, still, I don't love that it's called Batman vs Superman, but it was leading to Justice League, you could tell. And then Justice League, again, if they would have released Zack Snyder's version off a rip and not just been like, let's get as many screens as we can in here, I think it would have been solid. And you look at it, a lot of those people at Warner Bros., there was something happening. I don't recall exactly what it was. Something was happening, and a lot of them would actually about to get fired. And if they had gotten fired, they wouldn't get their bonus for Justice League. So they rushed out Justice League. And greediness really ruined the DCEU. I don't know. I'm only on here to say that I don't think it's Zack Snyder's fault. It's not Snyder's fault. I think if you blame Snyder, you don't understand what fully happened. Because a lot of people think that he directed like Shazam and Shazam 2 and all these, Aquaman 2, these bad movies. He had no involvement in that. After Justice League, Snyder wasn't really involved in anything. He kind of got fired. So I wish that people wouldn't blame him as much, because those 3 movies are the only 3 he really made. You could say Wonder Woman too, because that was kind of a part of the vision. Again, you could tell it was leading to it. But of Zack Snyder's movies, you look at it, Man of Steel, solid 8 out of 10 movie. 7 out of 10 maybe. Batman vs Superman, Ultimate Edition. The Ultimate Edition, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I mean, not great, but man. And then you look at Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. 7, 8 out of 10. Honestly, it's a good movie. I liked the more, darker tone. I appreciate Zack Snyder's work with that darker tone. But, I wish people would stop blaming him. He didn't make half these movies. Snyder is not to blame for this. Warner Bros. Is to blame. I love Snyder as a director. I love his work. But he is not to blame for these movies. So I wish people would stop blaming him. Anyways, I just got on here to talk a ton about the DCEU because I have very mixed opinions about it. But overall, I think it was good until Justice League. The theatrical release of Justice League ruined the whole universe. And Warner Bros. Got greedy. But that's it. Bye-bye.